Just by a quick raise of hands, can you hear me okay? Just doing a quick mic check before we get started. Thank you, Brett. Hey, Joe. Nice to see you. Well, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome to Tech Talk with Zyxel. My name is Tri Nguyen. I'm the product manager and sales manager here at North America at Zyxel. I'm looking forward to talking to you about Astra and the endpoint protection that we're providing today in today's market. Just a couple of things to take care of. If you have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A section in the webinar here, and I'll try to get to those as we can. If you have anything, just feel free to interrupt me. We'll try to get those in line. If not, I'll answer them at the end. You can always send me an email as well, tri@zyxel.com, and we can have a chat about any questions that you may have. So let's just get right into it. I got a bunch of slides to go through, and excited to tell you about how we have been partnered with Astra to provide endpoint protection, helping to really help these roaming users. You may have either their mobile devices, their laptops, et cetera, to provide endpoint protection, because that's a little piece that you want to ensure within the network, especially from the remote work from home kind of aspect that we have today, and being able to make sure that those connections and those device and clients are adequately protected, at least in some level. So Astra provides some of that solution here. But a little bit about our company. If you haven't heard of us before, we are Zyxel Networks, 30 years in the business, or 30 plus years. We were made in 1989, formed in 1989. We are a worldwide company, 100 million devices making connections globally, over 700 employees worldwide in Zyxel Networks. Over 1 million businesses work with Zyxel solutions today, including over almost 500,000 in Nebula products today in 150 markets globally. We're trusted to deliver to our customers, to you as partners. We work with a lot of brands out there like a Best Western, Subway, Domino's Retails, hotels, hospitalities, to providing connectivity, providing networking solutions to those clients and to their customers. And then partners like yourself are in the back, they're putting these things together and installing those for your customers. We also partner with some industry leaders as well. So solutions providers for technology in the cloud, for video, for voice, for a lot of the signatures that we put into our product lines for the security side, like Bitdefender, WebRoot, McAfee. We partner with them, make sure that we use kind of best-in-class type solutions and integrate them into our products and our solutions to deliver to you into the market. So we're united together as partners, and we really, pride in those partnerships and working with them, and as well as partners like yourself to providing the best solutions that we can. So in our, overall global coverage, or actually our North American coverage, we have 3 reps that will here to serve you. So if you don't know who they are, that's who they are: David, Andy, and Jacob. And they manage those regions as you see here. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to them, whether it's pre-sales, post-sales, support, distribution. We are your advocates. We work with you directly to try to make, get everything working for you. We are solutions driven by our clients. Because we make the product, we make the hardware, the software, and we integrate those together. We're able to put together solutions that you need for your clients. So if there's feature functions, there's solutions or products that you're looking for, things like that that you might want to help develop or dictate or help us to make our products better, we are here to facilitate and make those ecosystems in our products better. Because we do offer a comprehensive portfolio of security appliances, wireless solutions, Ethernet, gateway hotspots, network management, and partnering with other vendors who provide, some of the hotspot management as well. So we work with all that end to end. Anything that connects to a network, Zyxel has something to provide. And so today we've been adding now in kind of more of the software side of things. We primarily been in the hardware platform, of course, and we have a lot of the cloud-based or maybe some software management tools, but Astra is a little bit different. Astra is now helping us to get into the endpoints themselves. And that's one of the biggest targets for cyber attacks. Endpoints are the security loopholes because they know that they can attack a device that's gone to a hotel, maybe a public hotspot somewhere, or maybe even just, a physical key or a USB key. Somebody just goes, oh, I found a USB key. Let me just plug this in. And they get infected, they get malware on it, they get their devices are taken over. And so there's also applications that are moving to the cloud, but you need kind of remote access to get access to those things. So typically you're using like VPN protection, and you're trying to use that and trying to manage all the different VPNs and different devices and trying to maintain these security profiles and security policies for all these different devices. And the big challenge is, how do you protect someone's mobile device? Maybe it's a personal phone, or maybe it's an office phone, but you want to have some level of protection for those while they're accessing your network. Or maybe it's part of your policy that says, hey, you can't connect to the business network with your iPhone or with your mobile device, your personal one, or here is your business one, a business phone that you can use so that you can lock it all down. So there's still that open-ended there, depends on what your policies are. I know it's very difficult, especially for your customers. They want the flexibility, but in terms of flexibility, once you get too flexible, that's a definitely loophole, a way for these cyber attacks and these bad actors to get in. So that's kind of something that we have to work on and manage. A lot of it is just based on security perimeter. That's what our traditional way of doing, network protection today. So there's a centralized network, so people are just coming to the office and they're doing work there. So you can protect them in that particular bubble in the office itself. So you have a firewall, you have other scanning tools that help maybe content filtering, or maybe the data is just going from there. It's VPN directly to a data center. So all the traffic is either backhauled, et cetera. So there's a lot of control that you have in that traditional environment, but we don't live in that traditional environment anymore. Hybrid kind of workforce now, people working remote, it's become a lot more prevalent in the last few years, right? So people are now working from the cloud. So applications and solutions are all in the cloud. They're all decentralized now. So that's what we face today, a decentralized network with applications that could be accessed anywhere. So really, you don't need to be sitting in the office. You can have a connection, whether it be on your mobile device with 4G, 5G connectivity. You could be at a branch office. You could be at a remote hotel. I do a lot of work myself on the road because I'm on the road, a couple times a month, and I'm working from the plane. I'm working from the hotel. I'm working from the lounge in the airports, right? Everywhere that I have connectivity, I'm able to do work, do business, and be able to interact and do anything that I would as if I was sitting in the office or in my home office. So really, that's kind of the challenge that we have in this decentralized network. How do you enforce all these different devices to make sure that your applications that they're accessing is still also secured? Because if somebody gets compromised, then their device potentially could be used as either an attack, or in this day and age, it's less of an attack kind of scenario, but more of kind of being in the background, utilizing those resources to then get further information, or taking over the device to then further launch attacks to other devices or to other networks. So that's where we want to make sure that we have some layer of protection, some sort of endpoint security. The network perimeter needs all these kinds of extra layers. You need that visibility, be able to identify who's accessing the network, who's accessing these these applications, what devices. You want to be able to control those as well. So anybody trying to access those resources, you have to figure, hey, they should be authenticated with some strong either two-factor authentication method. And then if something happens, you need to be able to respond to what's happening. So not only do you need to know that it's happening, it's like, what do I do? I think a lot of cases today, many partners may have customers that, I mean, how many partners here have had customers go, tell them, well, I've been attacked, but I have no clue what to do, right? And so they're kind of lost. I got a cease and desist notice. I got somebody's downloading something illegal, and I don't know who it is, and I don't have any resources to do that. So that's where you come into play, not only to provide the traditional network security, but also in a kind of a remote kind of access security as well for the decentralized network. So you have multiple networks and working to secure all those branch offices, the roaming mobile devices that work from home, work from other offices, and putting that all together into kind of a solution that can help with that. And you want to enable cloud security. The firewall itself can protect fixed devices within a network. But of course, when users are roaming, when users are out there, they can bring those viruses back. It's kind of like when you have your kids go to school, they can get sick from somebody at school and then bring it home, and then everybody in your home gets sick as well, right? That happens with, every flu season, it seems. And that's kind of why, you want to be able to have some way for, protection as they are out in the network. So when they're in these other networks, so they could provide, you could eliminate a lot of issues there if you're able to block threats from the mobile devices themselves, or even just block mobile devices to going into your into that particular network. But that's not practical, right? Everybody would complain. Like I would complain if I couldn't connect to my Wi-Fi at my office. But I think in some cases it might be a little bit more accepted that you're not connected to the Wi-Fi, because we're now in the world of unlimited cellular plans now again, where we used to be as a fixed data plan. So now that more people are moved over to the unlimited plan side, then there's kind of really no reason now kind of offload unless you have poor signal. But it also enables you to centralize data, user behavior monitoring when you're enabling this kind of cloud-based security, because now you have a central point that's kind of managing and getting visibility over it. You can deliver a scalable solution as well while you're protecting via the cloud type solution. So while you have more roaming users in your office, in your company, or into your customers' companies, there are more threats and attacks that they're going to be facing. It's a lot safer, obviously, at home, or in your main office. But as they are going out, you let them out into the world, they face a lot of issues and things and threats that are potentially out there. So you want to be able to make sure you can monitor that. You want to set certain boundaries, profiles, policies, what to access. And also, I think a lot of training might help as well. We go through a lot of security and cybersecurity training, that our IT group puts on us as employees to make sure that we're not clicking certain types of links. We're not clicking emails that look suspicious. We're not opening up files when we're not expecting it. There's a lot of training on urgency in these kinds of devices or applications that you're faced with that could potentially push into malware, push in ransomware, all of those kinds of things that are trying to attack and get into the network. So we want to train them as well, but we know that they're roaming out there. So we're able to provide borderless perimeter security with Astra. Astra reduces, it secures your remote users while they are roaming everywhere, and be able to give you visibility. The network administrator can monitor them, can use it to secure regardless of where they're at. So push these certain policies into those devices. So it becomes kind of that front line in your cyber attack defense. So not only are you protecting against phishing, any kind of exploitation of attacks, you're also helping to prevent, control those users and devices from going to maybe certain places that might be potentially dangerous as well. That might be kind of the place where people go and accidentally download malware or download ransomware type function programs, but we can do that as well on a mobile device without having to sacrifice performance. And I think that's a big concern. If I load some sort of application or app that's running on my mobile device, how does that affect my phone's performance itself? So we're able to do that and provide security without sacrificing that performance. And so we can get ahead of these malicious attacks from anywhere at any time. So some of the key features that Astra provides. So Astra is a software application that could either be loaded into like an iOS device, an Android device, or right now currently is also a Mac OS device. So those are the three. Windows will be coming out in, I think, Q2. I have a slide. The next slide will show when the Windows version of it will come out. But then that provides you then all the different devices, the laptop, the mobile devices, and tablets, etc., protections. And some of the key features of Astra when you load it is it helps to predict and identify these devices and identify these applications that are being used, and also the devices and the people using it. So then you can use it to prevent any unauthorized access to resources, because it forces you to do authentication, and you can monitor websites they go to, IP address information, etc., to also look at preventative measures as well. It can detect in real time. You can detect the websites that they're going to, and what is identified as potentially malicious. And then once you've identified those threats, you then can do a response as well. So you can have you can use the traffic monitoring, you can get alerts and alarms, you can get a 7-day historical data for the admin for those kinds of threats that are happening, so you can kind of see things that are happening over time as well. So this is kind of the overall roadmap at the moment. We have that first defense pack, and the first defense pack we had launched for partners who had joined our beta program before. Now we've opened it up a little bit more to allow for you to have now a kind of a 6-month, actually till like the June timeframe, or a 6-month coverage of Astra. So if you want to go to the website to get the kind of the demo and the free trial there, it gives you the dark web monitoring, the dark web monitoring, the URL reputation, in-app push notifications, the mobile console. I'll talk a little bit more about these in a little bit. The web filtering, and also the cloud management portal. That's what's currently out. In Q2 this year, we're going to be adding some additional support in that pack as well, including the Windows version. But it allows for you to have a single sign-on for all like Zyxel platforms. But just so you know, it's not like what you would use typically right now with licenses, where you're buying it for a customer. It's more so you would have provide for the customer, and you can buy in on behalf of the customer and set up their accounts with them, right? Because it's not kind of that resale model yet. You could currently go buy and go onto the portal right now and purchase the licenses, but there's an admin, there's a kind of an admin process that you can go through to initiate these into your customers that you're managing. So it's not currently yet in kind of the multi-org, multi-customer, multi-site type like you would see with Nebula, but it does provide you a single login for that particular customer that you could manage for them. And for each one of your customers, they would have separate logins for that. It's typically tied to the My Zyxel. So if you already have a My Zyxel account, that would be your first bet to start with. But then each one of your customers would then have to have a separate My Zyxel account, created to help manage their customers or their client devices. So we're going to integrate some of that. Starting in Q3, Q4, we'll start like more of the paid version of the licenses there. So we're going to have 2 packs, the first defense pack and then an advanced pack that comes out. And the advanced pack allows for further integration with the firewall, data that's sent to Secu Reporter, etc., application control, application patrol services as well. So it's kind of like a mini UTM kind of built into the app, and also using cloud to getting all that that information and kind of the security protections there. So you can extend protection to all your platforms. So using the portal, these are kind of the basic feature sets that are there that you have access to. So the portals, the web portal that gives you, all the content filtering policies, threat map information, device management, license management. And then you can see the security statistics on all of these other versions, like whether you're on the app, the Mac, or the Windows. Blocked events, blocked monitoring, alerts for all the members, member management to invite and create members and groups so you can manage those and be able to watch like total scan sessions. And of course, we're enhancing it. This is kind of the first phase of it. And as we continue on, we're integrating more and more functionality to make it even more secure over time. So it's easy to set up. And so you just have to use the Astra portal. So you log into the Astra portal. I'll give you the link in a little bit. And you just use your Zyxel account. You activate the license. There's a free license that's built into that as well. So you can activate the free license. You can download the app. It'll kind of push to where you want to send or email, what device to download the app, or you can download it through a QR to get to your appropriate app store. So you download it and you get to and it sets it up, it logs it in, and you're able to go on and be protected. So this is kind of a little bit of the flow. What an admin would see. So the admin gets access to all of the kind of the orange side here. You can create and active the accounts. You do any kind of license ordering, license pushes. You can add different members to that, and each member has license that's appropriate for them. Typically, it's each kind of license gives you access to 2 devices that you can activate within that single license. But we sell license packs of like 5 licenses or 5 user licenses, and each user can have 2 devices in it. And then you can manage the monitoring, the user management, the content policies, website blocking, license, etc. And then on the app side, they have access to obviously download the app, and they log into it, and they get all the different protection that's there. And they can see, license and member lists, et cetera. So one of the aspects of Astra was to predict. So predicting attacks with intelligence. We lead by security. We can see abnormal activities by the events and use that to predict, identify which kind of events may be suspicious or malicious. And so the Astra Intelligent Events feature will allow for you to do that. So when you log into the dashboard, it gives you that kind of visibility into that information there. It also gives you a security event log as well. So you can track events in detail, the time that it was blocked, the threat that was blocked, what kind of device that was there. So it gives you kind of visibility into those events, who did it, the status of the current device, et cetera, and then be able to you access through all the device management tab there. So again, if you go onto the demo side or you go and create an account, you'll have access to this information as well. Data, you can see all the data in kind of a visual way on the dashboard. So you can use it also to protect and stop users from going to unsafe websites. You can record how many attempts they've gone to those websites for. You get alerts, alarms regarding those blocked websites, how many websites they went to, the number of attempts they've gone to that site. And then you can use that to inform them of, and train them on that is some sort of risky behavior and they shouldn't do that. So it really adds value and something tangible to the Astra app. So, the service itself, sometimes people think about security and it's like, how do I know that security is even working, right? So this is something that's very tangible that you can showcase within the dashboard and within the app itself, that these are what the users are doing. These are where they're going. This is the kind of behavior that might result in something malicious happening to your network. So it helps to get them feeling confident that this service is working for them and providing that appropriate information. Now you combine that, the endpoint security with the Astra with, a Zyxel firewall that does the network-based protection as well. So you kind of have a double option there. So while they're in the network, they're also protected and also being scanned by those kinds of, for malicious activity. But then while they're away, you also have a way to scan for a level of malicious activity as well. You're able to prevent preventative measures to block access to specific web categories using the content filtering. So that's always been a challenge. If you have, users who are outside of your content filtering profile, that's outside the office. How do you control them? How do you help to keep them safe? How do you keep them safe from, while they are roaming, while they're at a coffee shop, etc., or going to, sites that may result in malicious threats being downloaded. So this helps to prevent that. You can have more of a universal profile, or you can have specific profiles for specific users and such, and be able to restrict certain categories for different members that are part of that system. So you can allow or block websites. You can use custom URL groups to add members to as well. So it's very granular, kind of very object there oriented, so that you can be flexible on which users have access to what types of sites, or maybe specific sites only, and then be forbidden from other sites, etc., or very specific sites that you don't want them to go to. So not only category based, but also custom block based as well. Astra also helps to check email. So it will check within the cloud system to see if maybe your email address or your company email has been compromised in a data breach of some sort. So if it has been compromised or has been hacked, we'll also, Astra will send an automated notification to you to kind of remind you to reset your password and kind of shore up that threat that they've seen, kind of out there, either in the dark web or out in the web public there, that it's happening, or checking records for mail server records, et cetera, that may be pointing towards your company email that is marked as potential, threat or malicious. So now that you can predict that, and you can prevent it, but now you can detect and see some of the statistics. So investigating a threat, being able to look at graphs in real time, what they're using, where they're going, who might be infected members, those infected devices, what are the block events over the last 7 days or 24 hours, so you can kind of get a visibility in real time and change those block events information there by changing the time frame. So you can get visibility and detect what might be going on with your network, and then show kind of the latest security threats in real time as well. What are the most popular threats that are being blocked right now? What are the popular block URLs using the content filtering? What potential websites and IP addresses? And so all that helps you identify, all of this information into a kind of a watch map. So there's an activity watch map and a threat watch map, or a threat map, on these kind of different attacks and the origins of these attacks. And then you can use that information to further help protect the device, or, maybe help to identify those within your company itself, so to help with your firewall to protect against those malicious sites as well. So we do traffic monitoring, 7 days of historical data. It's stored in the cloud. You get the application notification warnings, alerts, emails. And, when you can set certain types of rules, policies, and criteria. So when that happens and it triggers that event, you'll get a notification or an email regarding that. So you're able to use that to respond to threats that are out there. There's a security indicator that summarizes and ranks some of the, the highest threat members, or maybe the members that are most likely to be, causing problems. And shows you what are the highest blocked websites, blocked devices. And so it allows for you to monitor those members efficiently and effectively. So now you can approach them and say, hey, you're going to these kind of websites. It's not good for the company. It may cause your devices to get infected and bring that into the company. So please stop, doing that. Or you can take further measures, or either to block those sites specifically as well. So if you see from here, these are all the sites that I'm going to, these are some of the block sites, you can use them to see even what are the most popular sites as well, to make sure that they're not trying to go to those as well. So this is just the overall navigation structure. Once you get into the portal, you'll see these menu structure here. Maybe the thing that you might want to check out the most is the kind of the license management, how you manage current subscriptions, how you upgrade or downgrade from kind of the advanced to the high end pro versions there, or how to cancel the subscriptions, etc. That's maybe where you want to check it out as well. But overall, it's pretty straightforward in the menu system there. You want to make sure that you're signing in to Astra to start your Astra app. So in your app, you want to be either in an admin role. You can invite with your app while you're in admin, invite other members into the portal, or you can use it to send email invitations to devices. So you can use that to send it to someone's, mobile device, and then again, they'll have an invitation code that will allow for them to download and register their devices into your managing account. So you want to be able to select the plan based on what you demand, what you need. You want to renew or upgrade the license plan anytime. You can add extra users freely, so there's no limitation on how many users per account. You can purchase the license within the portals themselves. So we're working through, the process here on how it looks like or what it looks like for a partner reseller. And so we're making sure that the kind of the discounts, once that comes into play, once you actually have to get a plan in place to purchase, then after all the free trials are over, then we hope that have the your partner discounts, et cetera, loaded. So if you're a Zyxel partner, we want to make sure that that's going to be reflected within this console as well, to make sure that you have the appropriate discounts there, because it's being purchased through the portal at the moment. So if you go to console.astra.cloud.zyxel.com, that's a lot of dots, but hey, we're used to that. So let's go there. We'll probably make a short link at some point, but that's the current one that takes you to the Astra Cloud, and so where you can sign up for your free trial today. And again, remember, it's tied into your MyZyxel account. So if you don't have one, it's going to take you through that process of creating a MyZyxel account as well. So some of the SKUs that you will see, kind of a general target street price that we're looking at. Currently, there's once even on a full launch, any new accounts there will have a 30-day trial period, and there's going to be for 5 users. Each user supports up to 2 devices, either mobile phone, Windows, or Mac OS. And also, so that's going to be a free 30-day trial. And then we're going to have monthly and yearly subscriptions available to the customer. The targeted street prices are what you see there. So for 5 users or above, each user supporting 2 devices on the mobile device. So for every 5 users, you can just add another monthly subscription to it. And so it's this target street price is about $6.50 per user per month, or you can buy a yearly plan. So it's $69 a year for 5 users. So it's like 10 devices for $69 with this, with the yearly subscription there. So we want you to be, I did mention the partner program. We want you to be part of our partner program. There's no cost for you to join. And it gives you a lot of benefits, including back-end rebates, discounts, the special pricing, deal registration that we have. So a new partner typically starts at silver, unless you attended one of our like ASCII shows that we help to promote you with. But there's no cost to you to join. You just have to maintain a minimum amount within a 6-month period. So in a half-year period to stay at silver, you just have to do 6K. That's like, most of our partners are doing 6K in maybe a couple of projects. And that's like, if you do a couple of firewalls, a couple of switches, and a few access points, and that's already going to be meeting your kind of your silver tier. So we put it at pretty low entry barrier there. And then going to gold, you get the maximum discounts that are there. James says more than 2 devices would be nice. Most people have 3 or more. It's currently in discussion, phone, computer, and tablet. So we're trying to decide, like, where's that breaking point there, James? Like, do we go with 3? And then if we go 3, do people say, well, I need 4, right? So, that's where it may be that they have, 2 licenses. Obviously somebody has to pay somebody for royalties and for the signatures, et cetera. And but I don't think it's going to be 10 like you want there, James, but we'll see. I think this is part of the balance and part of the feedback that we want from you while you're trying this out. Like, what is your general case? Like, in most cases, yes, I do have a laptop and a phone, but I don't have a tablet. So what is that, especially to connect to work or to have endpoint security to work? So maybe there is undisclosed. We say 2, but we actually give you 4. I don't know, like that, but it's just from a marketing perspective, like what is that breakpoint? So give us that feedback. I'll take this feedback with them as well. I had that same question, because one person is going to have at least 3 devices, but I think what they've seen in actual experience of number of devices per user, it typically is more averaged on the 2 side. And then it's like the other cases are 3 or more. So the majority is on the 2. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know what the current kind of the pricing cost and structure is for the cost of Astra itself. So we'll definitely make note of that. So we work through our distribution partner channels: D&H, Ingram Micro, Cynix, Wave, Target Distribution, and Pace International as well. So if you want to get our products there, but remember, just keep in mind, Astra is going to be a separate, right now it's separate from Nebula. It's separate from your typical buying licenses through a distributor. So just keep that in mind. It's kind of in its own portal right now. We're working on integration, and that's why there's this kind of this time. We want to launch the products to start getting feedback from customers, to start getting people using it, and that's why we're giving it away for free right now. So there's no cost to you to get that. Just jump onto the free trial. Once we get to that where we know it's going to be a kind of a selling, going to start selling or start charging people for it, then we want to make sure that those things are already in place. Make sure you get all of your discounts, etc., so you can use it in more of a resell model. Right now it's more of like you're doing the activation for the customer and then charging the customer for it, so whatever that price or discounted price may be. So that's what and keep that in mind. Those street prices that I showed you before, those are what you would charge your customer, and your price would be less than that based on your partner tier. All right, good question. So if you want to connect with us, we are on LinkedIn, Zyxel-US-channel, or you can look for Zyxel Try at LinkedIn as well. So you'll find me and connect with me as well. Or you can check out any of our other webinars, including this one in a few hours, at Zyxel America channel. So at this point, if you have any other questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A section. If not, you can always send me an email, try@zyxel.com. I'd love to talk to you and get you pointed in the right direction. If not, if you guys are looking at dropping off, thank you for being here. Thank you for your afternoon. Just a quick short update on what we have going. And I look forward to seeing you on a different and on a new Tech Talk soon. So I'm going to sit here for just a minute or two if there's no other questions, but feel free to drop off if you're ready to go. I appreciate your time. Unless somebody is frantically typing a long question right now, it doesn't look like there's any other questions. Okay, does this, Dan asked, does this replace DNS filtering? There's always aspects of it. You always have DNS filtering in a, I would say in a firewall. So that's already there. You wouldn't replace that. But while they are remote, like on a desktop, this could be your DNS filtering replacement, because it does have DNS and content filtering type services on the app side. So if you could get rid of what other extra software that you might have that does that. It depends. Sometimes people say, well, I do like the multi-layer. So some people have multi-layer of protection because there's some aspects that Astra does that maybe your DNS filter doesn't do, or the opposite, vice versa. Your DNS filter does, but the Astra doesn't at the moment. What about MDR and EDR type products? I'll have to look that up. I'll have to look. I don't know that right now. Typically, though, I think most like MDR and EDR type services, they're a little bit more sophisticated. They probably do a little bit more threat protection than what the Astra does. So it kind of depends on what level, I guess, what or how much of that blocking. So this does do similar to that, and we're obviously enhancing a lot of those threats systems there. All right, if there's no other questions, I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me here. And again, we'll look forward to seeing you again soon at another Tech Talk. My name is Tri, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.